Hello everyone, welcome to my presentation. My name is Kate and I will be sharing with you all the importance of the awareness of social anxiety in teens and Dear Evan Hansen. Now I know you might be asking yourselves, what is Dear Evan Hansen? I will explain all of it and its importance later, but first I'll be talking about social anxiety in teens. I'm sure many of you all have heard someone in passing talk about anxiety that they've had in social situations. You might have also heard people talk about social anxiety just being shyness with a fancy name. However, social anxiety is so much more than that. It's an actual diagnosable anxiety disorder that affects approximately 15 million American adults. People who suffer from social anxiety fear being judged by those around them for looking stupid or dumb, and thus refuse to speak in social situations or avoid interacting with people altogether unless with a trusted person in their social circle. According to the Anxiety and Depression Association of America, or the ADAA, social anxiety, also called social phobia, is defined as an intense anxiety or fear of being judged, negatively evaluated, or rejected in a social or performance situation. Most people who suffer from social anxiety often show signs of blushing, stumbling over words, and sweaty hands or palms. This form of an anxiety disorder is only able to be diagnosed by a medical professional and not by one's own self. Previously, I stated that 15 million adults in America have been diagnosed with social anxiety, but my presentation is specifically on teens. A study was done in Canada and posted in an article on teenmentalhealth.org. This article stated that 75% of the people interviewed and diagnosed with social anxiety reported first seeing symptoms anywhere from 8 to 15 years of age. Throughout that time frame is when kids are growing more socially and physically. Students in schools strive to be seen and accepted by others around them. However, with social anxiety, people want to be seen but fear coming off wrong and thus usually end up coming off too strong or being rejected by their peers. In Canada, 4% of the 15 to 25-year-olds reported having been diagnosed with social anxiety disorder. Overall in America, 31.9% of teens are diagnosed with any anxiety disorder. From there, the National Institute of Mental Health breaks down the statistics to 8.3% of teens having a severe impairment. And then the prevalence breaks down between females and males, with females at 38% and males at 26.1%. These findings were taken from teens 13 to 18 years of age. Most people may brush teens off and adolescents off by saying that they're just being shy. However, social anxiety is more than just being shy. These people diagnosed actually fear situations that could send them into full-blown panic attacks or cause nausea and a rapid heart rate. On October 17, 2011, the National Institute of Mental Health posted an article about the difference of shyness versus social phobia. This was based off of the research done by Marcy Burstein, Ph.D., and her survey of more than 10,000 teens aged 13 to 18. This survey reported that about half of youth identified themselves as shy, and only 12% of shy youth also met criteria for social phobia in their lifetime. Moreover, among youth who did not identify themselves as shy, about 5% met criteria for social phobia, suggesting that social phobia and shyness are not necessarily directly related. They can be two separate things. Yes, youth and teens can often just be shy and avoiding certain situations. However, there's an actual disorder that these people could be suffering from, and it's time that more people see it for what it really is and become more aware of it. Most teens and adults alike will refuse to get diagnosed by a professional because they let the words of others thinking that they're just shy get to them. They hear these things so many times that they start to believe what they're hearing instead of looking at facts and seeking professional help. Now, Dear Evan Hansen is a new age modern Broadway musical nominated for 9 Tony Awards that focused around high school teen Evan Hansen. Evan is a senior that suffers from social anxiety and goes through many transitions throughout the show as he encounters new situations like coming face to face with his anxiety and trying to comfort his biggest demons by actually talking to more than 2 people at his school. Throughout the show, the audience sees many sides of Evan's social anxiety through the lyrics in the popular songs Waving Through a Window and You Will Be Found, the script, and the action scene on stage. This show has been acclaimed for recognizing the actions of that social anxiety takes in its students' lives and bringing awareness to it on a bigger scale amongst many other things. Dear Evan Hansen was written by Ben Pasek and Justin Paul, directed by Michael Grafe, and won 6 Tony Awards, including Best Musical Performance, Best Original Score, Best Book of a Musical, and Best Actor in a Performance. For a very short synopsis, the show itself focuses on the main character, Evan Hansen, played by Ben Platt, who you might have also recognized as playing Benji in Pitch Perfect, and his struggle of trying to fit into the social demands of high school and trying to make friends. He encounters other high school outcast Connor Murphy, played by Mike Feist, who also suffers from depression and anxiety, and they agree to both pretend like they're friends. Connor then ends up committing suicide due to a letter that Evan wrote to himself that upsets Connor and made it seem like Evan was making fun of him. The letter was taken by Connor and thought to be a suicide note by Connor's parents. Then starts a whirlwind plotline of Evan coming up with this elaborate ruse of him and Connor actually being friends. This gives Evan the opportunity to step out of his bubble and interact with other people without the fear of rejection. The whole student body starts to accept Evan and listen to what he has to say when he shares a video acknowledging everyone who suffers from anxiety and depression, especially Connor and what he went through, and tells them that they are not alone and that they will be found. This sparked the whole musical's theme of awareness of social anxiety and started the hashtag #YouWillBeFound that is used all over social media. As the show continues, Evan's lies about his relationship with Connor start to crumble, and the truth is revealed. However, through it all, Evan learns a valuable lesson that it's okay to be who he is, anxiety and everything, and that he still has a support system of friends and family to keep him held accountable. Wikipedia provides a synopsis of the full show and each individual character. Their breakdown of Evan Hansen states a high school senior who struggles with social anxiety disorder. He is assigned by his therapist to write letters to himself about why each day will be good, which becomes the catalyst for the plot of the story. He also has never had any friends and has had a crush on Zoe Murphy, little sister of Connor, played by Laura Dreyfus, for a very long time. After Connor's death, he begins to tell lies of him being friends with Connor to the Murphy family because they found Evan's letter to himself folded up in Connor's pocket. They thought that Connor wrote it to Evan. The first act centers on his outreach propelled by Connor's death, while the second act has him unleash his yearning towards the Murphys and his anger towards Heidi and Jared, his mom and friend, who he believes have used him for validation and ignored him when they didn't need him. This shows all that goes through on the production, but does not delve deep enough to show that all that he suffers with his social anxiety and how he goes throughout his day. Evan goes through difficult conversations that are outside of his comfort zone and shows visible signs of social anxiety. This next clip will show you exactly the signs that he displays that match up with the signs stated earlier. Here is an example of the expression of people with social anxiety. Here, Evan is talking to Connor's sister Zoe and is stumbling over words, talking fast to match his rapid heart rate, not meeting eye contact, and profusely apologizing.
Sorry about my brother. I saw him push you. Evan, right? That's your name.
Yes, it is. It's Evan. Sorry.
Why are you sorry?
Because you said Evan and then I said it and I repeated it, which is just, that is so annoying when people do that. So.
I'm sorry.
Yes. No, I know.
You know.
No, just, I've seen you play guitar in jazz band. I love jazz band. I love jazz. Well, not all jazz, but definitely like jazz band jazz. That's so weird. I'm sorry.
You apologize a lot.
I'm sorry.
Okay, well, I'll
You
tell
don't want to
you.
sign my cast, do you?
What?
What'd you say?
I didn't say anything. You said something.
No, no way. Jose.
Okay. Jose.
Right, because I'm...
Throughout the song, Waving Through a Window, Evan laments about the way that anxiety takes a role in his life. The song opens up with the words, "I've learned to slam on the brakes before I even turn the key. Before I make the mistake, before I lead with the worst of me. Give them no reason to stare, no slipping up if you slip away. So I've got nothing to share, no I've got nothing to say." This shows the symptoms talked about earlier of his fear of rejection and negative attention of those around him, so he doesn't do anything at all and slips into the shadows. This also gives us a glimpse that he has tried to come out of his shell before but was greeted with a negative response and refuses to do it again. The chorus of the song states, "I try to speak but nobody can hear, so I wait around for an answer to appear. While I'm watching people pass, I'm waving through a window. Can anybody see? Is anybody waving back at me?" This shows that Evan is trying to reach out again, but is unsuccessfully gaining the attention of those around him, most likely due to past circumstances. Later in the show, the song You Will Be Found is introduced, and shows the audience the more awareness side of the show. The lyrics state, "Even when the dark comes crashing through, when you need someone to carry you, and when you're broken on the ground, you will be found." The encouraging words of this song let everyone in the show and outside of the show know that someone will always be there for you, no matter what you're going through. The song later says, "So let the sun come streaming in, 'cause you'll reach up and you'll rise again. Lift your head and look around, you will be found." Since the show has been running, the hashtag created for this song has been generating popularity and has been used on all forms of social media. This all comes together in the fact that more and more people need to see the importance of social anxiety in teens' lives. Most refuse to open up to anyone but a medical professional because they think that no one will understand them. If more people understand and are aware of what social anxiety does and how it affects teens and adolescents, we can help them more by reaching out a hand and giving them a shoulder to lean on. This shows to them that they will be found. Here are my citations, so thank you all for tuning in, and I'll see you later. Bye!